This is the forward. This is the foreword to a novel I've just completed called The Place of Dead Rose. The original title of this book was The Johnson Family. The Johnson family was a turn-of-the-century expression to designate good bums and thieves. It's labyrinthing into a code of conduct. Johnson honors his obligations, his word is good, he's a good man to do business with. Johnson minds his own business. He is not a snoopy, self-righteous, troublemaking person. But a Johnson will help when help is needed. He will not stand by while someone is calling for help, drowning or trapped under a car. Nothing extraordinary, just a reasonably well-intentioned person. A Johnson minds his own business. This planet could be a reasonably pleasant place to live in if people could just mind their own business and let others do the same. A wise old black faggot said to me years ago, some people are shits, darling. Most of the trouble in this world has been caused by folks who can't mind their own business because they have no business of their own to mind any more than a smallpox virus. Now, a virus is an obligate cellular parasite, and my contention is that what we call evil is quite literally a virus parasite occupying a certain brain area which we may term the right center. The mark of a basic shit is that he has to be right. And right here, we must make a diagnostic distinction between a hardcore virus-occupied shit and a plain, mean, no-good son of a bitch. Now, some of these sons of bitches don't cause any trouble at all, they just want to be left alone. Others cause minor trouble like barroom fights and bank robberies. To put it country simple, Harry J. Anslinger, diseased, was an obligate shit. Jesse James, Billy the Kid, and Dillinger were just sons of bitches. Now, victimless crimes are the very lifeline of the right virus. And there is a growing recognition, even in official quarters, that victimless crimes should be removed from the books or subject to minimal penalties. Those individuals who cannot or will not mind their own business cling to the victimless crime concept, equating drug use or private sexual behavior with robbery and murder. If the right to mind one's own business is recognized, the whole shit position is placed in jeopardy, and hell hath no more vociferous fury than an endangered parasite. Drug laws, Mr. Anslinger said, must reflect society's disapproval of the addict. And here is Reverend Braswell in the Denver Post. Homosexuality is an abomination to God and should never be recognized as a legal human right any more than robbery or murder. Indeed, one is tempted to seek a total solution to the shit problem. Slaughter the shits of the world like cows with the aftosa. Then we'll all feel a lot better. Such a drastic intervention may not be necessary if the public is alerted in time. At the present time in Colorado, that's where this was written, approximate mob conditions prevail. And by mob, I mean my own business. No sex crimes on the book. You can fuck a cow right in front of the sheriff. and all he can say is boo, which you can hardly expect to bring down the barn with an act like that. With the right virus offset, perhaps we can get this whole show out of the barnyard and into space. This is the space age, and we are here to go. Introducing Kim Carson's hero of The Place of Dead Rose. Kim is a morbid, slimy youth of unwholesome proclivities, with an insatiable appetite for the extreme and the sensational. He has a dark side to his character, and he loves it. His mother had been into table tapping, and Kim adores ectoplasm, crystal balls, spirit guides, and auras. He wallows in abominations, unspeakable rites, diseased demon lovers, ancient ruined cities under a purple sky, the smell of unknown excrement. In short, Kim is everything a normal, decent American boy is taught to detest. Progressive education. When Kim was 15, his father allowed him to withdraw from the school because he was so unhappy there and so much disliked by the other boys and their parents. "I don't want that boy in the house again," said Colonel Greenfield. "He looks like a sheep-killing dog." "It is a walking corpse," said a St. Louis matron poisonously. Years later, Kim settled that account. When informed of her death, he said, "It isn't every corpse that can walk. Hers can't. The boy is rotten clear through, and he stinks like a polecat," Judge Ferris pontificated. Well, this was true. When angered or aroused or excited, Kim flushed bright red and steamed off a rank, ruttish animal smell. "The child is not wholesome," said Mr. Kindheart with his usual restraint. Kim remembers his father's last words. No mistaking that gray shadow moving up the face as the gray lips move. "Stay out of churches, son, and don't ever let a priest near you when you're dying. All they got a key to is the shit house. And swear to me you will never wear a policeman's badge." Kim decides to go west and become a shootist. If anyone doesn't like the way he looks and acts and smells, he can fill his grubby peasant paw. Kim's training as a shootist begins. He meets a wise old assassin, Whispering Kes Mayfield. "Uncle Kes, this is Kim Carson." The old man spoke in a dead, dry whisper. "Your hand and your eyes know a lot more about shooting than you do. Just learn to stand out of the way." Now his eyes, old, unbluffed, unreadable, rest on Kim as if tracing his outline in the air. "City boy, did you ever see a dog roll in carrion?" "Oh, yes, sir. I was tempted to join him, sir." "Did you ever see a black snake pretend to be a rattlesnake?" "Yes, sir. He coiled himself up and vibrated the tip of his tail in dry leaves. Brrrp." "Kim, if you had your choice, would you rather be a poisonous snake or a non-poisonous snake?" "Poisonous, sir, like a green mamba or a spitting cobra." "Why?" "I'd feel safer, sir." "And that's your idea of heaven, feeling safer?" "Yes, sir." "Is a poisonous snake really safer?" "Not really in the long run, but who cares about that? He must feel real good after he bites someone." "Safer?" "Yes, sir. Dead people are less frightening than live ones. It's a step in the right direction." "Young man, I think you're an assassin." Kim makes his bones. As soon as Kim walks through the swinging door, he knows this is it. 2 men at the bar by the door. One is tall and thin with a dead, sour wooden face. The other tall and fattish and loose-lipped with lead-gray eyes. They fan out, blocking the door. Loose-lipped smiles showing his awful yellow teeth. Now, I don't like drinking in the same room with a fairy, do you, Clem? Can't say as I do, Cash. They want to bat it around for a while. Kim doesn't. I don't want any trouble with you gentlemen. Just let me buy you a drink. Kim is still talking as his hand sweeps down to his belt and up, smooth and casual, as if he is handing Clem a visiting card and shoots him in the stomach. Clem doubles forward and his false teeth fly out, snapping in the air. Clem's .45, barely clear of the holster, plows a hole in the floor. Kim pivots, both hands on the gun, and shoots Cash in the hollow of the throat. The heavy slug tears through and spatters the wall with slivers of bloody bone. Cash's gun chunks back into its holster. Clem is weaving around trying to recock his .45 with numb fingers. Taking his time, Kim shoots him in the forehead. Both assholes are dead before they hit the floor. Kim's arduous training has paid off in hard international currency. As Kim looks down at the two bodies crumpled there, spilling blood and brains on the floor, he experiences a rush of pure joy. Two enemies will never bother him again. Two lousy sons of bitches melted into air and powder smoke. Kim remembers his first adolescent experiment with biologic warfare. Smallpox was the instrument, the town of Jehovah across the river his target. Their horrid church absolutely spoiled his sunsets, with its gilded spires sticking up like an unwanted erection, and Kim vowed he would see it leveled to the ground. It was dead easy. The townspeople were anti-vaccination, polluting the blood of Christ, they called it. Around the turn of the century, there were a number of these anti-vaccination cults, a self-limiting phenomena since all the cultists contracted smallpox sooner or later. So Kim simply jogged the arm of destiny, you might say, by distributing free illustrated Bibles impregnated with smallpox virus to the townspeople of Jehovah. The survivors moved out. Kim bought the land and used the church to test his homemade flamethrower. He found the plant in Boy's life. A weed killer, they called it. Well, rotten weeds, you know. Kim's last cayuse. The horse is as much a part of the West as the landscape, but Kim never really made it with the horse. He tried at first to establish a telepathic bond with his horse, but the horse hated the relationship and tried to kill him at every opportunity. It would swell itself up when he put on the saddle, or it would suddenly scrape against a tree or run under a low branch. You know, all the old horse tricks. He did eventually break one beast, a strawberry roan, down in his telepathy with a loaded quirt and some rather ingenious electrical devices. But his strawberry, as he called it, finally turned on him, and Kim swore that he would never again become involved with a horse. He hated their hysteria, their stubborn malice, and their awful yellow teeth. Shootout in front of the dead-ass saloon, dusty noon street from nowhere to nowhere, lead flying all over the set. My faithful cayuse at my side. Then he hits me from behind, striking out with his front hoofs. I roll, twist, and put a quick shot into his ribs from below. He screams like a woman, spitting blood. Bullets flying all around me, can't hit because of the prancing, screaming horse. Then he bolts straight for them, and they're all shooting at the horse, and I take them out easy and greasy. Percussion lock days had to grease the bullets, otherwise all 6 cylinders are subject to go up in your face. They killed my old strawberry, Kim told the reporter, and there were tears in his eyes. Not ashamed of it. Kim has no shame. I guess there's just so much hurt and pain a man can take. And that was my last cayuse. After that was use him and leave him. That fucking Strawberry was a good horse if there had been somebody there to shoot him every day of his life, Kim thinks. Kim recruits a band of flamboyant and picturesque outlaws called the Wild Fruits. There's the crying gun who breaks into tears at sight of his opponent. What's the matter? Somebody take your lollipop? Oh, senor, I am sorry for you. And the priest who goes into a gunfight giving his adversary the last rites. And the blind gun who zeroes in with bat squeaks. And the famous shitting sheriff turned outlaw. At sight of his opponent, he turns green with fear and sometimes loses control of his bowels. Well, there's an old adage in showbiz. The worse the stage fright, the better the performance. Kim trains his men to identify with death. He takes some Roki guns out to a dead horse, rotting in the sun, eviscerated by vultures. Kim points to the horse, steaming there in the noonday heat. All right, roll in it. What? Roll in it like dogs of war. Get the stink of death into your chaps and your boots and your guns and your hair. Well, most of us puked at first, but we got used to it, and vultures followed us around hopefully. We always ride into town with the wind behind us. A wheeling cloud of vultures overhead, beaks snapping. The townspeople gag and retch. My God, what's that stink? It's the stink of death, citizens. Kim had never doubted the existence of gods or the possibility of an afterlife. He feels that immortality is the only goal worth striving for. He knows it is not something you just automatically get for believing